Welcome to the news. The House of Representatives has called on the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to temporarily suspend the implementation of a directive that instructs banks to collect and verify customers' social media handles. The decision was made during plenary session on Tuesday, July 11, 2023, after the approval of a motion sponsored by 9 lawmakers. The CBN had issued guidelines in June explaining that the purpose of the regulation, which is part of the bank's Know Your Customer KYC procedures, is to fight against financial crimes and terrorism, while improving the accuracy and comprehensiveness of customer identification. According to the CBN, the policy aims to empower financial institutions to gather information about customers' online presence and activities to better assess potential risks related to money laundering, terrorism financing, and proliferation financing. During the motion's debate, Representative Kelechi Nwogo from Rivers State highlighted that the policy, although commendable, infringes upon Section 37 of the Constitution, which protects privacy rights. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has announced the removal of cash deposits limitations on domiciliary accounts, granting account holders the liberty to withdraw up to $10,000 per day. The development marks a significant shift in the nation's monetary policy, allowing individuals greater flexibility in managing their funds held in domiciliary accounts. The CBN made a disclosure in a press statement on Sunday after deliberating at an extraordinary bankers' committee meeting. The new directive provides further guidance to banks on the operational changes to the foreign exchange market. The Apex Bank had announced the unification of all segments of the Nigerian forex market early in the week, collapsing all windows into the investors and exporters IAE window. The CBN said all visible and invisible transactions, medical, school fees, BTA, PTA, airline and other remittances are eligible for the investors and exporters I&E window. The CBN directed banks to ensure expeditious processing of all eligible invisible transactions on behalf of their customers using the applicable rates on the official window. Prior to this announcement, individuals with domiciliary accounts face limitations on the amount of cash they could deposit and withdraw, thereby hindering international transactions. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has issued a circular directing deposit money banks and other financial institutions in the country to enhance monitoring of transactions involving businesses and individuals from Cameroon, Croatia and Vietnam. The circular, issued by Chibuzo Ifobe, the Director of Financial Policy and Regulation, stated that the Financial Action Task Force (FATF) has recently placed these countries on its grey list. The FATF is an international body focused on developing and implementing measures to fight against money laundering, terrorist financing and proliferation financing. The CBN also highlighted that the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Iran and Myanmar remain on the list of high-risk nations that require close monitoring by banks. It is on record that Nigeria was previously grey-listed by the FATF in February of this year. However, the nation's efforts to address the identified deficiencies resulted in a significant reduction from 84 to 15 deficiencies, as acknowledged by the FATF. The African Export-Import Bank, Afreximbank, and supply chain financing firm, Fiducia, have entered into a strategic partnership through a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) to revolutionize factoring and address the supply chain finance gap in Africa. The MOU, signed by Kanayo Awane, Afrexim's Executive Vice President of Intra-African Trade Bank, and Imohimi Imokede, CEO of Fiducia, aims to foster collaboration between the two entities to align their efforts in achieving their shared objectives. Under the partnership, Afreximbank will collaborate with Fiducia to provide additional liquidity for trade facilitation through factoring on the Fiducia marketplace. The bank will also explore opportunities for collaboration with Fiducia and access cooperation in payables financing across African markets. According to the MOU, the partnership is expected to bring significant benefits to small and medium-sized enterprises (SMEs). Agimokede highlighted the positive impact the collaboration between Fiducia and Afreximbank can have on SMEs, particularly in deepening the supply chain financing landscape in Nigeria. Awani also emphasized that the partnership with Fiducia aligns with Afreximbank's ongoing efforts to promote factoring as a means to bridge the trade finance gap, particularly for SMEs. The collaboration between Afreximbank and Fiducia signifies a significant milestone in advancing supply chain finance in Africa, addressing key challenges faced by SMEs and facilitating economic growth and development across the continent. The Federal Trade Commission (FTC) has issued a civil investigative demand to OpenAI, the developer of the ChatGPT chatbot, focusing on various areas such as AI model training practices, user data handling, and marketing efforts. The demand includes inquiries about the measures taken by OpenAI to mitigate the risk associated with its large language models producing false, misleading, or disparaging statements about real individuals. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has acknowledged the potential risk of AI technology going awry and has expressed a willingness to collaborate with the government to prevent such occurrences. The emergence of generative AI has introduced new threats to the information ecosystem, as the technology's ability to create lifelike and believable content challenges traditional defense mechanisms against misinformation. And that's it on News Roundup.